In today's show, here's how Bitcoin could go to $1 million, according to Morgan Creek Digital's Anthony Pompliano. He was recently interviewed by Stansberry Research, in which he goes on to share, in order to have a true prediction, you have to predict price and also timeline. In 2019, I wrote a piece that said I believe that Bitcoin was going from around $10,000 at that time to $100,000 by the end of 2021. I still believe that. I haven't changed it. Somehow, I'm the most conservative guy in the room because now there's people saying 200, 250, 300, $500,000, whatever the numbers are, I'm still going to stick with $100,000. And regarding his long-term price prediction, he says, I absolutely think at some point in my lifetime, we'll see a $1 million Bitcoin price. I'll be breaking down all the highlights from this exclusive interview for you right here in today's show. Also, checking out the latest from Kaiser, he tweeted, Bitcoin is a complete break from everything that came before it. Once you start comparing it to something, you'll miss it. Not unsurprisingly, those without orthodoxy or bias are the first to grasp it. Those prone to dogma and can't will be the last. He also tweeted, Bitcoin has zero utility. One reason it's perfect money. Gold's perceived utility value is one reason it's performing so poorly against Bitcoin. Bitcoin's value is 100% market driven, not utility value driven. Bitcoin's only purpose is to store value across space and time. That's right. Also breaking news, legendary value investor Bill Miller, who has a net worth of over $1 billion, buys MicroStrategy debt for their Bitcoin. Value investors look for assets that are trading below their value. Also in today's show, Bill Miller says Bitcoin has enormous addressable market and calls not owning Bitcoin a massive mistake. And as Preston Pish points out, coins leaving exchanges for deep storage, as you can see right here on your screen, as well as the number of addresses with more than 1,000 Bitcoin, which ultimately shows us that whales are accumulating. Also in today's show, we'll be taking a look at the overall crypto market. As you can see, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most all the major altcoins are in the green, but where's the Bitcoin price likely to go from here? Find out all this, plus so much more in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day, so be sure to smash that subscribe button. That's right, and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium Crypto News Alerts every single day, including weekends, just like this. And before I kick off today's show, if interested in trading Bitcoin or Ethereum, be sure to check out the Bybit exchange. They have a promo going on where you can receive up to a $620 free BTC trading bonus deposited directly into your Bitcoin wallet. Be sure to use my voucher code and affiliate link right down below this video in the description. You can also find the full details. Go ahead and take advantage of this, and let's start stacking those sats, shall we? All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV. We have a lot to cover, so let's dive right in, shall we? Morgan Creek Digital's Anthony Pompliano, shout out to Pomp of the Pomp podcast, is mapping out a scenario in which Bitcoin hits the $1 million mark. If you're pretty stoked to see a $1 million Bitcoin price, holla at your boy in the comments below. And what year do you feel Bitcoin is most likely to cross that $1 million mark? My prediction is in 2025, as 2024 is the next halving, and typically the year after the halving is when the market goes parabolic. Now, in an interview with Stansberry Research, the co-founder and partner at hedge fund Morgan Creek Digital divulges his modest 2021 Bitcoin price prediction, as well as his very bullish long-term prediction for the flagship digital asset. As for his 2021 price target, Pompliano stands by his 2019 Bitcoin forecast. That's right, he made this prediction back in 2019, in which he estimated that Bitcoin would reach $100,000 by December 31st, 2021. Even if the prediction appears conservative compared to some of the other bets circulating around the crypto world, when do you feel Bitcoin is most likely to cross that six-figure mark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I feel it will happen this year, before or on September of 2021. Just throwing it out there, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Now for some of the highlights from this exclusive interview with Pomp, he goes on to share, in order to have a true prediction, you have to predict price and also timeline. In 2019, I wrote a piece that said I believe that Bitcoin was going to go from around $10,000 at that time to $100,000 by the end of 2021. I still believe that. I haven't changed it. Somehow, I'm now the most conservative guy in the room because now there's people saying 200, 250, 300, $500,000. Whatever the numbers are, I'm still going to stick with $100,000. In the long term, Pompliano has his eyes set on a head-turning Bitcoin evaluation. However, the Bitcoin bull warns that he's unsure whether the high price tag will be primarily due to Bitcoin's popularity or the devaluation of the dollar. He makes a great point right here when we look out over a very, very long time horizon. So if you give me the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, don't put a time prediction on it, just tell me where the value of this thing goes, I absolutely think at some point in my lifetime we'll see a $1 million Bitcoin price. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below, but I don't know if that necessarily has more to do with Bitcoin's value accrual as much as the devaluation of the dollar over a long period of time. Everything goes up in dollar prices, from real estate, stocks, precious metals, etc. Pompliano says his evaluation is all but guaranteed, and that for individuals to benefit from Bitcoin's incredibly potential ascent, they will have to be prepared for major volatility. Here's what he goes on to share. I think it's a foregone conclusion. You just have to be able to stomach tons and tons of volatility. All that volatility scares a lot of people, but if you're a long-term hodler and you do your research and you get comfortable with it, then I think it's a pretty amazing thing to put in your portfolio. I couldn't agree more. Also, I like to point out that volatility equals life force. Assets with very little or no volatility are dead, like the US dollar. I also like to compare Bitcoin to gold, as many say, hey, gold is not as volatile, so it's safer. Well, you also got to keep in mind that gold only appreciated 15% in the past year, while Bitcoin is up over 300%. So would you rather have an asset with very little volatility like gold, which is boring with very little gains, or have an asset like Bitcoin, which is highly volatile but also gives us massive gains? I would choose Bitcoin all day, my friend. Now, before I break down the latest tweets from Max Kaiser, as well as this breaking news, legendary value investor Bill Miller, who is worth over $1 billion, buys MicroStrategy debt for their Bitcoin. Value investors are looking for assets that are trading below their value. But first, let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market. I love seeing most all the major cryptos are in the green. We have Bitcoin up 1.6% for the day, trading above 32,400. We have Ethereum pumping up about 8%, trading above $1,300. Chainlink back in the green, trading above 24 bucks. We just hit an all-time high with Link in price discovery mode just yesterday. We also have Polkadot up 0.13%, trading just below $18. So as you can see, the market is pumping, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, checking out the latest tweets from Max Kaiser, Bitcoin is a complete break from everything that came before it. Once you start comparing it to something, you'll miss it. Not unsurprisingly, those without orthodoxy or bias are the first to grasp it. Those prone to dogma and can't will be the last. And he also tweeted, Bitcoin has zero utility. One reason it's perfect money. Gold's perceived utility value is one reason it's performing so poorly against BTC. Bitcoin's value is 100% market driven, not utility value driven. Bitcoin's only purpose is to store value across space and time. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Max Kaiser, and shout out to Max and Stacy of the Kaiser Report. Next, breaking news. Value investor Bill Miller, who is worth $1 billion, buys MicroStrategy debt for their Bitcoin. Value investors are looking for assets that are trading below their value. This is a pretty big deal. And before I break this down, let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market cap, sitting at $962 billion with $108 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. And current Bitcoin dominance still on the decline at 63.4%. And the current Bitcoin market cap is sitting at $611 billion, as you can see right here on your screen. Now, checking out the top gainers within the top 100, we have QTUM up 28%, trading at $3.77. AVE up 20%, trading at $236. Arweave up 19%, trading just below $6. And Uniswap up 16%, trading at $10.37. Now, checking out the biggest losers within the top 100, we have Engine Coin still up 78% for the week, but down about 5% for the day. Now trading just below 42 cents. The Central Land down 3% for the day, but up 68% for the week, trading just below 18 cents. Basic Attention Token up 27% for the week, but down 2% for the day, trading at 32 cents. And Ren down 2% for the day, but still up almost 8% for the week, trading at 64 cents. So out of this list of the biggest gainers and losers, which altcoins in particular are you most bullish on? Let me know in the comments right down below. Now, checking out one of my favorite indicators is the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Shows we're currently rated a 70 in greed. Yesterday was a 74. Last week, a 79 in extreme greed. And last month, a 94 in extreme greed. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity, aka BTFD, buy that frickin' dip. And when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. All right, now let's break down our next story of the day, shall we? Famed investor and co-founder of Miller Value Partners, Bill Miller, says owning a portfolio without Bitcoin is a big mistake. I couldn't agree more. In his Q4 2020 letter on income strategy, Miller attempts to showcase Bitcoin's benefits to his readers, going so far as to say that not owning Bitcoin in the past and going forward is a miscalculation. That's right. Miller argues that despite Bitcoin's volatility and other possible downsides, the trend shows that Bitcoin is an asset facing consistently increasing demand. Here's what he's quoted sharing. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset over 8 of the past 10 calendar years, and its annualized performance has blown away the next best performer, the NASDAQ, by a factor of 10 over the past decade. Not owning any Bitcoin has been a massive mistake, and we expect that will continue to be true. A long-term candlestick chart shows progressively higher lows despite significant volatility, clearly representing growing demand from long-term hodlers willing to tolerate the swings. And he continues, there is a 12-year track record of demand growing consistently faster than supply, and failing to own any Bitcoin at this point implies a belief that there will be a reversal and a long prevailing and increasingly powerful trend. Almost every long-term holder of Bitcoin has earned a higher rate of return in Bitcoin than in anything else, and those who understand it see little reason to put their excess marginal liquidity into other assets at this point. Miller goes on to spotlight Bitcoin as the asset with the largest combined upside potential and liquidity while having a relatively small market capitalization. And before I finish breaking down the highlights of this exclusive interview with legendary investor Bill Miller, and we check out the latest from Preston Pysh, first I want to remind you to smash that show more button right below this video in the description for a detailed analysis of what's going on in the market. This goes for all 670 plus videos right here on my YouTube channel. Also some very helpful resources for you to plug into, including the blog to my podcast, which could be found at cryptonewsyes.com. Also be sure to smash that subscribe button. That's right, to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this, even on weekends. Also, you can find me on all the major podcasting platforms, from Spotify, the home of the Joe Rogan Experience, to Apple's iTunes. You can also follow me on Twitter to receive daily crypto news alerts. My Twitter handle is Crypto News. Yes, and for those of you active on Facebook, I do have a private crypto Facebook group entitled Crypto Alchemy with over 17,000 cryptopreneurs just like yourself from all over the world. To become a part of it, simply click this link, request to join. I'll be sure to plug you in. And for those of you active on Telegram, I do have a private crypto Telegram chat, which is uncensored. To join it, click this link. You'll automatically be added, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you personally on the inside. All right, now let's finish breaking down the highlights from legendary investor Bill Miller, who goes on to share, there is no other asset that combines Bitcoin's liquidity with its upside potential. Bitcoin is still an emergent and under-owned technology in an enormous addressable market, and it has a brilliant, logically consistent protocol with distributed governance. Data from the World Bank, IMF, International Monetary Fund, and OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, imply that the total amount of broad money in the world at the end of 2020 was north of $130 trillion. That's right, at a market cap of $700 billion, Bitcoin represents approximately 0.5% of all the accounting systems in the world, despite some clear advantages over them. So did you hear that? The total assets in the world are valued at $130 trillion, and Bitcoin represents only 0.5% of all the accounting systems in the world, and Bitcoin is clearly superior. Miller says that although Bitcoin's success is unexpected and outsized, it may well be its growth that indicates a global financial revolution. He continues, the world is ruled by fat tail events or seemingly improbable occurrences that have an outsized impact, and all indicators so far point to Bitcoin being one. Preferred mediums of exchange tend to move in long cycles, and we may be in the midst of a major global transition that continues to go largely unnoticed. So there you have it. Now checking out the latest from Preston Pysh. He recently tweeted coins leaving the exchanges for deep storage, as you can see right here on your screen. And he also tweeted the number of addresses with more than 1,000 Bitcoin, which represent the whales are accumulating, are also at an all-time high. This is definitely a bullish indicator for the king of all crypto. And checking out some of the responses, Killian wrote, WTF is deep storage. And Preston responded, it's storage that is deep. Yeah, that's pretty profound. And now for a quick recap of what I covered with you right here in today's show. Here's how Bitcoin could go to $1 million according to Morgan Creek Digital's Anthony Pompliano, which I broke down for you the highlights from this exclusive interview he did with Daniela Cambone of Stansberry Research. He predicts a $100,000 Bitcoin price by the end of this year, 2021, even though he's considered now one of the most conservative guys in the room, as we have major institutions predicting Bitcoin prices in excess of $300,000. And for his long-term perspective, he says, I absolutely think at some point in my lifetime, we'll see a $1 million Bitcoin price. I believe we will see that in 2025, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. In today's show, I also shared the latest wisdom from Kaiser. Bitcoin is a complete break from everything that came before it. Once you start comparing it to something, you'll miss it. Not unsurprisingly, those without orthodoxy or bias are the first to grasp it. Those prone to dogma and can't will be the last. And he also shared Bitcoin has zero utility. One reason it's perfect money. Gold's perceived utility value is one reason it's performing so poorly against BTC. Bitcoin's value is 100% market driven, not utility value driven. Bitcoin's only purpose is to store value across space and time. That's right. Also in today's show, I shared breaking news. Legendary value investor Bill Miller, whose net worth is over $1 billion, buys MicroStrategy debt for their Bitcoin. Value investors are looking for assets that are trading below their value. I also shared that Bill Miller says Bitcoin has an enormous addressable market and calls not owning Bitcoin a massive mistake. I couldn't agree more. I also shared the latest from Preston Pysh, which shows coins leaving the exchanges for deep storage, as well as the number of addresses with more than 1,000 Bitcoin, which means that whales are accumulating, as you can see right here, at an all-time high. So where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go from here? Let me know in the comments right down below. Well, that's going to conclude today's show. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and journeying along with me inside this incredible crypto matrix. If you gain value out of today's show, be sure to smash that subscribe button. That's right, and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, including weekends, just like this. And real quick before I go, if interested in trading Bitcoin or Ethereum, be sure to check out the Bybit exchange. They have a special promo going on where if you use my referral link below this video in the description, along with that voucher code, you can receive up to a $620 free Bitcoin trading bonus deposited directly into your Bitcoin wallet. To take advantage of this, again, use my referral link as well as the voucher code right below this video. Take advantage of it right now. Let's start stacking those sats, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode. Peace.